Hey there, everyone. Today I thought it might be nice to have a little chat about how visionaries can attract integrators like myself to come work on their projects, services, and businesses. So let's get right to it. A big part of my motivation for recording this today is that I've been putting out a lot more content lately. I'm trying to get a little bit more frequent with what I post, so that way people can see me and they can kind of get an idea of who I am and what I'm doing. Now, with that comes more attention and more people asking me for help, which is great. I love helping people. But I get this particular type of question over and over again. I've actually heard this a lot in the past as well. And so I thought I would address this because I think this is a place that a lot of visionaries end up in when they're trying to get started. So the question that I commonly get from people is, Kyle, I have this idea for an app or this business. Would you be willing to work on it with me? And although I don't want to discourage you from maybe an app idea or a business idea that seems really solid, there is a little bit of an inherent problem in the way that you're asking the question and trying to present it to me. So what is that problem, you might ask? The problem is that it implies that you haven't really done a lot of work to vet out the idea and to show that it has any merit. And when you ask that question, you're essentially coming to me to ask me to commit my time to that particular project, even though you haven't done a ton of legwork to verify that the idea is actually going to be profitable. Now, what would be much more compelling to someone like me is if you came to me and said, hey, Kyle, I've got this idea for an app or a business, and I've already started to reach out to X number of people and have gotten commitments from all of them to spend Y amount of money. So here's why that's better. You've essentially told me, number one, that you have already started to put in the legwork to actually see if this is a feasible business. You have tested the market and you found that there is demand. And then secondly, you've gotten financial commitments from people to be able to actually start cash flowing the business from day one. So if you came and presented something like that to me, I would be a lot more interested in working together with you to make that dream into a reality. Now, let's talk a little bit more about two key things that you need to make sure that you address as a visionary when you're talking to an integrator. First of all, just like you would with any lead or customer, you need to address the motivation. So what is it that motivates the particular integrator that you are talking to? There are a couple of key pieces that an integrator might be motivated by. First of all, there's the question of whether the integrator is actually truly interested in your project. It's very hard to get an integrator to work on something that they themselves don't believe in or they themselves don't think is interesting. But if you bring something to them that really piques their interest, and especially if it is in line with their long-term goals, then you've hooked them and it's going to be a lot easier to bring them onto the team. The second piece around motivation that you need to be concerned about is whether the integrator is more interested in immediate cash flow or if they are willing to take on the risk to work for equity. Now, if you're talking to an integrator, this might not be the same at any given moment. Just like how priorities change in your life as time progresses, things change for integrators. For example, let's say you came to me right now with an idea for an app or a business. Right now, for the phase of life that I'm currently in, I have needs for immediate cash flow. So I'm going to be a lot less inclined to work for equity. That is, unless you come to me with a business that's already cash flowing and you're offering equity for me to come in as the integrator and add additional systems or tech to be able to scale it up. However, this is only true for the time being. As time goes on, I meet my goals and I have more capacity, I will be a lot more interested in working on innovative ideas that might require a little bit more risk by working for equity. Okay, so that concludes the bit about motivation. So let's talk a little bit about the second piece here. It's your credibility. When you come to an integrator, you need to be very clear about the value that you are going to be providing as the visionary. And you also need to be very clear about what your experience and skills are that will equip you to be able to deliver on what you're promising. So as I've said before, there are a lot of integrators, including myself, who have had visionaries reach out to them asking if we would be interested in building out an app or a service for their business. But oftentimes, a lot of these visionaries haven't given much thought to the risk that the integrators are taking by working with them. You are asking the integrator to give up a lot of their time to build something out for a particular business. But when a business is getting started, one of the most important pieces is whether that business is able to get leads and if they're able to close those leads and make sales. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what an integrator does to build out all the processes and systems and tech in a business. If the business isn't generating leads and making sales, then it's dead. So that means that the integrator needs to be able to trust that you as the visionary are going to be able to get the leads and make sales in the early days of the business. So how are you as the visionary going to be providing value? What are your skills and what is your experience? Do you have a background in marketing, in sales, in running your own business? How can I be sure that you're going to actually come through and we can make this business profitable? And do you have a track record of trustworthiness with the people that you've worked with in the past? As an integrator, I would expect you to be able to answer all of these questions so that I can be sure that I'm really working together with somebody who's going to be a good partner. So if you as a visionary can address the issue of motivation and also the issue of trustworthiness and how you're going to deliver value, then I'm sure that you're going to be able to find an integrator out there who is interested in working with you. Now that's going to be it for today's video. I hope it was really interesting and very helpful for you folks who are watching. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. I look forward to providing you guys even more value in the future. Take it easy.